What's up, guys? Here on the episode of Eli and Mike, here doing another podcast in the beautiful city of Beverly Hills. It's raining and cloudy, but you know what? It's okay. But we have two amazing, fabulous entrepreneurs who run this beautiful business called ATP Development and Construction. We have Sergio Alvarez and now
Panorama.
I tried though, I promise.
Yeah.
But seriously, guys, thank you for showing up on our podcast. We appreciate you guys being here today.
Thank you so much.
Anytime. And you guys were actually in the raffle won by one of your business partners that actually, you guys are here in this beautiful city in Rodeo, and we're actually very honored to have met you guys. We were talking a little bit right before the podcast about the business, the things that you do together, and how this relationship between you two, how it happened. So I would love to start off just with a simple question of ATP Development and Construction. Who started it? When did it begin?
Yes.
Well, it was kind of interesting because we had, I was telling you earlier that Serge and I were kind of competing. We're both developers and we're kind of friendly competitors. Mm-hmm. And I heard about Sergio, and he was a broker. And that he used to sell many, many homes. I was flipping a lot of homes, and I heard that he could move a lot of houses. So I started calling him, and sure enough, he did, and became a great relationship, fed him more and more houses.
Amazing.
And then I started the National Hispanic NAREP LA.
And let's give you a minute here. Guys, he started NAREP.
Right, this is amazing.
In Los Angeles. That's huge.
Yeah,
I mean, in our business in real estate, nobody says, oh, I started it.
Right.
They'll say they were elected officials or they were...
Can we join?
No, I was the founder of NAREP LA, and it's kind of funny because people look at me, I look white, but I'm Colombian, so I just get that right. They were surprised.
Yes.
So I asked Sergio and Sandra, his wife, to be on the board, and we just became really good friends all through the time. Still competing, but just always referrals and so forth. And then just recently, about 3 years ago, we decided to join forces, and it's been a blast. We've had so much fun. The energy is amazing, and so forth.
It was a natural evolution. His background is commercial.
Yes.
Which, as a residential agent, residential broker,
right.
We wanted to inspire more.
Yes.
You got, you get the ability to sell, $5-7 million homes, or you get the ability to sell $20 million buildings.
That's right.
And it seemed an easy thing to do. And, his background, his knowledge has give us the ability to understand commercial. But we decided to do construction, and because we're developers by trade.
Okay.
And he's been developing for 30 years, so have I.
Yeah.
And we joined forces to have a one-stop shop and support others. On a constant basis, we were being approached to can you help me here?
Right.
I'm stuck here.
Yes.
What do I do here? And it was just easy to just start a construction company because we had up to 19 projects at one point.
Oh, wow.
And it was just easier to just be our own construction company.
Yeah, and as developers, it's kind of interesting because I got the contractor's license, but I mean, for years and years, we've been hiring contractors, and it just made it just much easier to, especially when you're getting clients, it's like just to have the license. And so brought that to the table.
Love that.
But it's a very well-rounded company.
And what happens a little bit with older age, some of your great referrals you've been working with for like 10, 12 years, and they go bye-bye. They retire.
Yes,
you
true.
know? And so some of our great contractors, great resources, and I had to go find that individuals again. So it became almost impossible. So that's one of the biggest reasons we started our own construction company.
Well, that's fabulous. Wow. I mean, it's so inspiring too, because I want to one day have, I mean, we own companies, we own a couple right now, but nothing to the nature of what you guys are doing. You guys are running something that can help so many people in so many different ways, which let's touch base on the fact of all these fires that happened in LA County.
Right.
Basically, it was known all over the world. Everybody was feeling sympathy.
Yeah, I was getting calls from everywhere.
I was just about to ask that. So are you guys currently working on construction in the Pasadena area?
100%.
Yeah.
Wow.
The actual construction hasn't started yet because there's always the debris cleanup and so forth. The Army Corps is there cleaning all the debris and so forth. But there's so many alliances, and with all the connections that we have, we want to do is, like Sergio calls it, a one-stop shop.
Yes.
Because it's so overwhelming for people that to find an architect, find somebody to clean, find a structural engineer. and so forth. So it's just, we know all that stuff. We know all the expediting, the permitting process, and so forth.
And your company, it actually is a one-stop shop, because we actually have some individuals who are affected here in our office, and like you said, they're going to different companies left and right, and
It is.
some of them aren't answering, and they're not able to like speak with the same representatives, and so this is what your company does.
It's overwhelming. Like even like we have friends, associates that are actually in this room who are insurance adjusters. They know third-party insurance adjusting and so forth. So we're bringing that to the table, and it's just it is overwhelming. And you guys know, so we're in Pasadena.
Oh yes.
So it's right above Altadena. So this is like, this is our community.
Wow.
Yeah, we
this
were
is where
like
the company's based out of.
Yes.
Yeah, we're in Old Pasadena in Colorado, in Pasadena, but. I mean, my house, one of our clients, her house burned down, is only like a mile from my house.
Oh my God.
So, I mean, it was very scary. As a matter of fact, I think I was telling you a story that the day of the fires, we went down to San Diego to meet Gary Cosa at NAREP, and I started getting buzz feeds that the fire was getting closer and closer to us and so forth. And then I just got word that one of our best friends' house burned down. I was like freaking out. I didn't even know that if our house was standing till about 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. So.
And that must have impacted you both personally. I mean, knowing that it's affecting your own community, your neighbors' houses,
and your business.
And your business. Yeah. I mean, obviously you're building and creating more help, and at the same time profiting. Let's be real. There's income coming in, but it's also emotionally impacting because you're
very emotional. And we've had some clients come to our office and even friends. I mean, they're still kind of shell shocked. It's very very emotional. And sometimes we're speaking to them. It's almost like there's just a glaze over there.
Losing everything.
It's horrible.
So we're going to be doing a show on this, and we've already started some of the. We're going to bring it out. So
great.
A few hours on this information topic, but. One of the things that that people don't understand is Altadena, the average age, if you Google it, the people that lost a home are 65.
Wow.
At that stage, if I have a problem with social media right now at 58, imagine them. Now all of a sudden you have to be an expert at this. We're meeting clients and they're coming in, and these are people that have been retired for 10, 15 years. Wow. School teachers, public servants, just from all walks of life, and now all of a sudden. They lost everything,
right?
And they have to be experts.
Yes.
And so we have to be stand up to the plate too, because we're developers. There's nothing we don't know about getting a house from design to finish. But the key part now was the insurance.
Yeah.
Oh,
and so Josh Campos here, one of the person that got us involved with. Thank you very much, Josh.
Right, yeah. Shout out Josh. Shout out Josh.
He definitely knows the game. He's been in the restoration side of the business for 15 years. And so all of us, we have to become experts. So we know how to guide people.
Yes.
At that level.
And we tell people, it's like, like we've had people come to the office and clients and so forth, and I get calls all the time. It's like, we don't even care if you don't hire us. I mean, it's fine. We're just there as being in Altadena, being in Pasadena. It's our obligation to be there for people, to just bounce questions off, to guide them. Even if don't hire us, I don't care. We don't care.
Yes.
But we just want to be there.
Yes.
We want to be there to support. I mean, my kids went to Altadena schools, and a lot of their friends lost their homes. So it's not about money. It's not about business. It's just about helping community.
You guys have this automatic willpower of gifting. Like, and may I ask, like, does that originate from your youth? I'll ask you first out. Like, are you just naturally a giving person since you were born, or how did this all come about?
I've always been kind of pushed into kind of leadership positions and stuff, and it's just anything that it's like I'm not about mentorship, so I don't have that kind of thing, like keep it to the chest kind of thing. Neither does Sergio. It's like you ask us questions, you can come to our office, we'll give you all the answers, we'll give you what we do. Sergio always says, you tell me what you say, man.
Look, I'll tell you all the answers. Yes. Most likely you won't do it.
Okay.
The answers are not. The sauce is not really, the secret from it's really the hours you put into it.
Right.
I work 7 days a week.
Yes.
I work many hours. It's not that I'm out there swinging hammers or doing. I think there's a lot of planning. There's a lot of psychology that goes into your business. When you decide to run your own business, you take not only your responsibility of production, but everybody that works for
Right.
Definitely.
So there's always some kind of planning.
right.
My average, hour at, even on Sunday is 6 a.m.
Wow.
5 a.m.
Yes.
And it's before the family gets up to plan the next phase. Most people want to do everything, and I'm sorry to close my eyes, between 9 and 6.
right.
They want to go
Very
to the
true.
gym, go to the bank,
Yes.
production,
Right.
prospect,
Yes.
and they think, what's wrong? Well,
Yes. Exactly.
you're not. That's not the problem.
right.
What-
And
Right,
I thought I was a
right,
hard
right.
worker.
Yes.
Shit. Then I met.
Yes.
Then when I got Sergio, it's like you play somebody, you're playing tennis, and
Yes.
it's like that guy's better than you,
Mhm.
and so you have to step up your game. So I'm
Yes.
like, it's like trying to catch up with this guy. This guy's
And I love that because it seems like just
he's a
with-
workaholic.
Right. I can
It's
see
a
that. I
hobby.
can see that. Yes.
It really
I mean,
is
you're
a
probably
hobby.
working right now. Your mind's calculating something right now about
Yeah,
some
we
layout
could-
somewhere.
We can feel it.
Kobe.
Okay, the Mexican Kobe, we love
There you
that.
go.
And obviously, it's amazing that it's not just your construction company. You have a whole team with you, like you said, a
Yeah.
one-stop shop. Even insurance is involved with your guys' company,
Correct.
which is so powerful because that's one of the key, tools that are needed, especially what just happened with the fires. And I know we were touching on that. How did your company change? Because you guys been running this for about 3 years now.
Yes.
How were you guys able to? Because I'm sure you guys got so many calls. How are you able to, withstand the change in what just happened with the fires with your company?
So we've always been, as a broker in the 90s, I had up to 150 agents.
Oh wow!
So you can just imagine. So
Yeah.
we understand volume. We had an escrow
Mhm.
company, mortgage company. So we understand systems and operations. So
Got it.
for the 3 years we've been planning for this growth, so we were already going to have an amazing 2025 in construction, and so that was the whole thing to it. So we were
Got it.
planning for a great 2025. We have systems in place where we can scale from 19 jobs to 33 jobs
Mhm.
within months, right? Because we do our things in-house. Support is in-house. Production, our subcontractors is kind of gauged. We have systems to scale
Powerful.
and
Yeah,
downscale.
Yeah, construction can, like actual construction out in the field, can scale up or down based on stuff. But the core of the office, the administrative part, stays kind of the same, and you
The
grow
foundation.
that by
Mm.
person, not too many, but workers and subs. We have so many connections, people like actual laborers and subcontractors that we can scale up pretty quick.
But now coming back to the fires, it was a duty. It's
Wow.
a duty
Yes.
to
Yeah. No,
be
for
there
sure.
for your friends.
Right.
Long-term
yeah,
friends,
it's
high
like,
school
I
friends
mean,
that
this-
lost their
yeah.
houses.
This
You
is
know.
where we we shop, we go to restaurants, the little watering holes that
Right.
you go to.
Yes, and
Well,
even have your
Shout
business
out to
there.
the Good Neighbor
Yes.
Bar.
Right. Okay. There you go.
It's also
Good
very
neighbor, good
patriotic, though. It's patriotic what you're doing, because you could also say, "Hey, we're like you said in 2025, you were expecting the business to grow already.
Yeah.
This situation that happened could have actually impaired your business if you took on too much.
Yeah.
There's things
But you
that
guys
even
stayed
us-
ready.
but you guys figured it out and
Yes.
said, "No, we're going to help the community, no matter what the stakes are."
But like you said, even if this did not happen, you guys were ready for whatever was to
Right.
come.
So
Yeah, exactly.
part of what I don't know if we talked about it. We're also he's on the board for National Hispanic Alliance of Contractors.
Oh yes.
So this is where we were already for the last few years planning on we have resources to scale up. If we need support through these organizations, Latino Chamber of Commerce.
right.
I feel like
plenty
I
of
sit on
resources.
a lot of boards. I sit on the Los Angeles Latino Chamber of Commerce.
Amazing.
I sit on that board, and I sit on NHCA, National Hispanic Construction Alliance. I'm the vice president of that. So.
Wow.
Powerful resume.
Oh
I mean,
my
seriously,
gosh.
that's
Connections
great.
all over the place.
Not bad for a white guy, right?
right. Exactly.
Latino
exactly.
So
No,
so
yes.
we're through that's how we're able to do through our resources a gas station, a supermarket. We're working for Amazon for the last 2 years. We're
Amazing.
out there, and so through our resources, that's what happens. You get a little older, you get to know people with experience, and you see other people, and
Yes.
and we're able to interview the right people. So that's how we're able to scale,
Mhm.
just through our resources and our surroundings.
That is so
I,
powerful.
so just like I asked Al about, did he always start off being such a giving person? Were you also the same way when you started? Like, let's just go back to when you were a child and such.
It started. I don't know. I've always had friends.
Okay.
it was a natural thing to from I was born here in Los Angeles, raised in Mexico
Okay.
for my first part of through elementary. Then I had to come back, and I didn't know any English, and I had to relearn and had new friends. But I never left my friends, my kindergarten friends. I still to this day still with them.
Amazing.
Wow.
And I'm still with them. And then with my elementary friends, actually Javier Alvarez, which is my kindergarten friend, we're still friends.
Amazing.
And
Amazing.
we sat together through kindergarten because he's Javier Alvarez, I'm Sergio Alvarez.
Oh, there you
And
go.
so,
How do you forget?
By force,
Exactly.
Yeah,
and to this
automatically.
day we're friends. Coming into real estate when I really found out, really about competition. I was able to, very blessed to, luckily progress and do production. And we were at one point, selling 15, 20 homes a month.
Amazing.
And that was
Amazing,
different
amazing.
times. Different
Right.
times.
Yes.
And supporting people. And that's when people started asking a lot of questions. And I had no
Yes.
problem giving them.
And your construction company, what are some projects that you guys have worked on, in the last 3 years that you can say, wow, this was a really hard project, but you guys got it done working together?
I'll start with one, and then
Okay, yes,
give you
please.
the mic.
I'm sure
Your
there's
version.
many. I'm sure there's
So
many.
I was a little comprehended about Amazon.
Okay. Wow.
Really? Us? Amazon? Really?
That's
We're not.
I was confident.
And he was
Okay.
confident. I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, it's gonna be too much red tape.
I got a lot of shit for taking that one on.
Okay.
And so, but we're there,
Okay.
and we're keeping up with with the demand and
Wow.
working. All credit to Al.
Okay.
But I was
loves
a little
it.
comprehensive, and I really think that was a milestone for our company.
Wow, Amazon, that's
you know,
huge.
And now they're asking us to go, Riverside, San Jose,
Wow.
different options, right?
No way.
We just developed 10 homes in one site.
Okay.
Are these homes developed by request of Amazon? Or are they getting into
No,
residential?
different.
or-
This is another.
Oh, different.
That's
Okay.
a whole other
we have a
thing.
whole project for Amazon, and then on the development side, for us, just having 10 homes, building them, that was
Wow.
a good one
Yes.
for us recently.
I think the Amazon was a great example. That's been a very difficult job, but a lot of strategic things came into play, and all the guys stepped up. So that was amazing.
Okay.
I think one of the ones we just recently did was Sergio kind of maybe told you off camera, but we've been called in to consult. We ran recently into a 15-unit apartment building in Culver City,
Wow.
where the contractor just threw the towel, walked out, and just
Really?
left it.
No way.
Yeah,
There's got to
it
be
was
some kind of
it's devastating.
regulations,
Wow.
though. Can people
Oh
just
yeah, I
walk
mean
out?
that whole side of it is lawsuits are going to fly in and so
Of
forth.
course.
But
Big
nevertheless, we came in to do it just a huge forensic dive. They took everything, all the paperwork, and so
Wow.
we were put in place to just dig everything out, accounting wise, everything, and get them through their certificate of occupancy. That took a
Amazing.
while, but
Amazing.
and we've actually had a couple of those recently,
No way.
That's
where we
really-
come in and we consult and we pick up the pieces and so forth.
Wow.
We obviously do the ground up construction, but I think that was pretty
Yeah.
challenging,
I
especially because you don't know where the bodies were buried and so forth. So
I think
Jesus
that's a
Christ.
very rewarding part of it. As developers, when you have a
Yes.
$10, $20 million project and it's going sideways, it's your livelihood. You're the one, signing on the bottom line. So when developers, first of all, you should not do that project for the first time on your own.
Okay.
Right.
It's a gradual step.
Take his advice. Take
Yeah,
his
yeah,
advice.
so you don't want to do,
Yes.
everything can be solved with money, but there's a limit.
Right.
So I think it was very rewarding when somebody's broken down and seeing wow, this is my livelihood's going to go out way, and we come in here and we revive this. And this is 30 years of experience with building and safety. Some of our partners and consultants now are ex-fire chief of building and safety, and so what does he know? What can he guide us to?
Mhm,
Ex building and safety inspectors are on our
Yes.
consulting side.
Definitely.
So we come with a lot experiences. It's not just us;
Right.
it's the people that surround us.
yeah, you
Right.
I would say surround yourself by smarter people.
Powerful.
Hillside
I love that.
expert,
Powerful.
Hillside foundation expert.
Mhm.
Wow, my hat's out to him. There's no mountain he can't conquer.
Right.
Let's talk about something that people get very stimulated by, which is money, right?
Mhm.
So let's talk about a simple project. Actually, it's not simple. Let's talk about a big project, right? So let's just say you have a $20 million project like that one. What is the average commission that you as a company would get on the $20 million development project?
Our fee's about 10% on an
Okay.
average.
10%
Okay.
of the
Yeah,
total
like-
$20 million
total
project.
Yeah,
Got it.
usually the higher the number goes, then you drop down on the percentage that you take. So it's like if it's a smaller job, then your profit margins go up a little bit. So you don't have to get as much, but because there's such a huge number, it's not like you need to have the lion's share of
All I'm hearing is that we've been doing the wrong thing.
But
We
it takes
get
a lot of
3%, right?
it takes a lot of work, and then there's so many people involved too. So maybe
Right.
to the audience it might seem like 10%. Wow, of $20 million. Of course, that's a great amount of money. But with so many professionals on the team,
Correct. Absolutely.
I mean, there's so many routes that 10% is going to go.
100%.
And it's risky. I mean, construction it's not. It'll keep you up at night.
Yeah, I'm sure.
For sure.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, see, I'm already worried about residential ones keeping
Right.
commercial.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do that.
and it's amazing that you guys touched on the topic of the consulting, because to be a construction company, but not only that, consulting others with, again, $20 million projects, that's just grand. I mean, people could really trust you because they know that you guys are even consultants, not just construction
I think where that comes from too is that because our background first is development, we started as developers, as investors. We learn construction, and so anytime that we do like a third-party job, a construction site, we're in their shoes because they're the developers, and then we come from a side like we know no matter what's happening, you still have to pay the mortgage on the property and so forth.
Right.
Time doesn't stop.
Yes.
And so we see their pain all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been in their shoes, so we know what it's like to deal with a contractor that's not performing, because time will kill you on something like
really
that.
not an answer that we can't answer, including the resale of this product. What if you have to get closing costs, not closing costs, and
we go into it. Yes, that's a great point, Sergio, because we go into it a little different than, we don't just take the construction aspect of it. We've already done analysis whether this project is like going to go under or not for the developer, just because that's what we do. We're developers ourselves. It's like, where's this guy planning on exiting? Is he going to have enough money to even finish the construction and so forth? So all that stuff happens at our office. So when we say we come from their side, we really do. We analyze even the project and the income flow of it and so forth, and the exits, even for residential and so forth.
In many cases, we'll give you a story that we always kind of talk about. We had this lady come in with 17 units, and we said, this is the price, $30 million. I mean, $3 million. And then I asked her, why do you want to build it? It's only worth, $4 million.
Yes.
So it doesn't make sense after your carrying costs and everything.
Right,
She goes, well, the architect told me this is the biggest I can build. I go, well, did he also tell you it doesn't make financial sense?
Wow.
And so we bring that to the table. Many contractors said, let's build it and go forward, and then that lady would have been stuck.
But that separates you from every other commercial business, because some companies are just going to be like, oh, whatever you say.
Of course.
You're actually educating them and saying, hey, you're like this, but you know what, maybe this is the path we need to take.
And I'm going to say something that makes sense for any business, right? But I tell people, proper planning. Before you break ground, before you spend a nickel, analyze everything. And if there's something you don't know, don't just wing it, because that's what's gonna get you in trouble. So that's what we do. I mean, we really spend hours and hours and weeks sometimes just analyzing every inch of that project.
Wow.
I think the biggest trigger word that I probably heard in all these podcasts is, you just said it, proper planning.
Right.
Is a key element of anything that
absolutely, for sure.
Right.
Anything. I mean, from even planning to have a child, planning to have a business, planning to put your money together, planning the trip. Without that, you're right. You're just winging it. Well, you're going to get winging kind of answers back. You're going to get a mess.
No doubt.
Yes.
No
And
doubt.
I think that's great, and I can see how you guys are the yin and yang of your business.
Right.
Because he's like, let's go, let's do Amazon. And you're like, oh, I don't know about that.
It's kind of like
well, again, I knew that I went in there like, no, we can do this, and he's like, dude, no, we're gonna be all right.
Could we talk about the Amazon really quick, because this is huge. I mean, this is a worldwide company, and they're again trusting ATP development with your guys' expertise. What really goes into the construction that you guys do for it? I want to know. I'm so intrigued.
The thing that really mostly there is like working for Amazon is working for like the federal government.
Wow.
I mean, it's like so strict.
Yeah.
Like the regulations, OSHA, and everything is scrutinized. There's meetings every day, and so more than anything it's all those protocol that has to be followed. Like you've got like 4 managers like watching each other and managing you and so forth. So the strategic and the logistics of it was the difficult part. But once you overcame that, and it's like you want your people to step up to that because they're like, wow, we're not so used to being scrutinized like this. But they stepped up and
Right.
you could do it and just follow procedures. But I
Mhm.
think that was the biggest deal. Other
Okay.
than that,
It almost sounds like they're the parents and you guys are the kids.
Huh?
Like they're parenting you guys to make sure you guys are doing the right
They
thing.
got the grandparents, they got the parents, they got
Okay.
the uncles.
The babysitter.
you're not
And you
gonna-
guys are still in toddler stage.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's everything's
Amazon's-
to the T.
You're not going to
Wow.
walk into Amazon in any which way without, you know.
I mean,
being
even the
vetted.
security just to get into the warehouses
No
and so
way.
forth.
And
Yeah.
you guys are like building these warehouses from the floor up, or how?
No, we're doing specifically like tenant improvements and demolition for
Oh,
them
I see.
within the
So
warehouse.
So fresh
Oh,
and
amazing,
easy.
amazing.
Remember fresh and
Yes.
easy?
Yes.
So they had about 300,000
Amazon
square
Fresh,
feet.
yeah.
Amazon
Wow.
Fresh.
Oh
They,
my
that
gosh.
that's gone,
Wow.
and they're that technology. So our job is to demo it because
Wow.
they're going to repurpose it.
Okay.
I
Believe it or
see.
not, Amazon is just, they're so ahead of the game.
Mhm.
What they built 10 years ago for
Yes.
technology is obsolete. They got to redo it.
They're never sticking to the original plans. They're always
They're always
changing.
better.
Always.
Wow.
It's
In
amazing.
this case, that's what we're helping them out with.
Right.
That's
and
great.
and so this is like different from any old person hiring you guys for a job and then they're barely checking on you once a week. Amazon's like calling you every day.
It's great because it does step up your game.
Yes.
And so, like for instance, just recently we're going to do a job in Beverly Hills,
Amazing.
which is kind of interesting. It's like we do kind of like really niche, kind of odd jobs. Like for this particular case, it's just the opposite. We're going to be doing a demolition on a hillside home that's about 4,000 square feet, hills like this.
Oh my gosh.
And it's extremely dangerous, but we're actually
Yes.
going to tear the house down because it was built illegally.
Mm.
And there's foundations, there's caissons. I mean, it's really, really difficult.
Wow.
And so, we have to deal with OSHA, which is like super scrutinized on safety issues. We had to get certified for all that, but that's a very unique job. And again, very dangerous. It's all
Yes.
hillside, but
Definitely.
yeah, we're going to take that on.
And we have
Wow.
the people on staff that can
Congrats.
handle that.
Mhm.
That you won't see me and them swinging hammers.
Right.
But,
Right.
you know, but-
Okay.
Not that we
okay.
can.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Right. Exactly.
I won't get hurt.
Okay.
Maybe you guys will get like a cardboard box and slide down the hill.
Oh my
I
god.
used to do that when I was a kid.
Oh my
I
god.
remember those days.
Yeah.
So let's ask you a very daring question. I don't know if this affects these guys. So who has the power, or who has the stronger heart to hold in the ability to fire or get rid of a customer? Which one of you guys handles that?
And have you guys got rid of
We're-
customers?
We go through.
Oh yeah, we get rid of customers. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
for sure. I thought you meant like staff or something.
That's it.
We're this is a relationship. It's like
Right.
a marriage.
We're
no,
actually
right.
we're actually
Yes.
really
We're-
really different
we
personalities, man. We're really different.
Yes.
Who was that just the other day? Oh, we were getting into an argument with a client, and it was just back and forth. Like
Mm.
it wasn't an argument; it was a discussion.
There you go.
It
Yes.
was like about 45 minutes, and after that, nobody walks away, and I get in my car and I get a call from the client. He goes, "I just want to talk to you because I think you're a lot more diplomatic than Sergio."
Oh my god. Right.
So he's like, Sergio's definitely more emotional. I'm like more like,
Yes.
more like, I'm more reserved.
yes.
Like,
Oh,
hey, bro, maybe you shouldn't say it that way or da da da.
Right.
But I'm,
He's very good.
Yes.
You're like the guy. Let's have a latte, and he's like, "We're not drinking anything."
no. He's more like kind of. We're just different.
Yes.
Okay,
I
I
feel
like
like that's
that.
needed. We kind of have the same type
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
relationship.
both
He's a
effect-
latte
we're
guy.
both
I'm like, I don't
effective,
have time
but,
for that.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's needed. Those two different.
He's
type of
definitely more
personalities.
emotional.
There you
Oh,
go.
I see.
There you
You're
go.
more emotional. Got it.
Yes.
What's the next stage in your growth of your business? It sounds like you're already doing it. It doesn't really. I mean, Amazon is
No,
the top.
I think it's interesting. No, I think what's next is, man, one of the things that Sergio and I is we never stop learning, and we like this whole thing with the fires and so forth. We just learned so much, like with Josh and about insurance and stuff, and all the stuff that goes around it. I mean, that's all kind of that was new to us, and we had no idea like all the stuff about soil contaminations and so forth. And so this is a whole different aspect. I mean, what happened in Altadena and the Palisades is like we're learning as we go through it. I mean, we have a lot of the answers, but we don't. And if we don't have them, we'll find them. And so this is kind of all brand new to us. The
Mhm.
way the massiveness of this whole thing and what's going
Yes.
on. So
right.
Yeah.
And I think like as we mentioned, 3 years, and we've been working for the company. We're on site, we're with the clients, we're
Of
hands on.
course. Yes.
And this, prior to the fires, we were on the goal to say, let's have the company work for us now, and we want to we still want to lead the company, but we want the company to start working for us, not us, being involved in everything.
I love that.
Right.
And so
right.
we've been working for the company.
Yes.
We want to. That's our goal, to have the company work for us.
So
And
John,
that's the only way we can scale.
sounds like an exit, but not really, because
not,
you're still
yeah.
somewhat
It's
still
just-
involved.
it's
Kind of
the-
like the watchful eyes, but you're not really having to, because you have your people now.
But it's the only way to scale.
I agree.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know,
It's true.
The company needs to manage itself. And
Yes.
we need to. We need
And
to lead
I
it.
think as the company grows and stuff, I think it's putting the right people in place and letting go. Because I mean, him and I are both so hands-on that it's like you got to trust those people to give them the power to lead and so forth, and then let them go.
Right.
Like we know we've had a few staff members that, we threw them in to the water and see if they could swim, and they did great. I mean, him and I went back on one particular guy, and he's like, "I don't think he's ready." I'm like, "He's ready," and he's like, "I don't think so." Like,
Yeah.
dude, let's throw him in.
Okay.
And the guy did awesome.
Amazing.
He stepped up to the plate.
Amazing. Love that.
And we're both. He's a great PR person, and
Yes.
sales is my background.
And I'm really shy too, man.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
But,
I am really funny. Like I'm actually an introvert, so we're just like, that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll step it up when I have to.
There you go.
In operations, we want to leave it to somebody else. We're in operations right now.
Right.
And
Yes.
we're not leaving the company. We just need to take a full-time job in PR.
Right.
And
Well,
that's where we're at.
I remember I was talking right before the podcast that this was something that originally wasn't planned, the merger between both of you guys.
No.
How did that happen? And actually, what were you guys competing against in that point in time?
I guess we don't. It's not really compete. Is that we were doing the same things.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
but since we were friends, it's like it was always a great referral thing. It's like, hey, do you got a guy that can do this? And like, sure, hey, call this person. So it was never like we were like competing. When I say competing, it's because we were doing the same thing, but we were always friends. And so, but then like on my side, like I had some projects that were kind of slowing down, and I wasn't happy kind of where that particular side of the company was going. And then we were talking, and then he was in a grow mode, and he's like, "Al, like I need some help, and come over." And so it was about a half a year discussion. Actually.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Okay.
And he got his license. He got his contract license, and then again we were on this grow mode, construction, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Coming from the real estate side, residential real estate side,
Right.
he having a commercial background.
Yeah.
This is part
Absolutely.
of the attraction too, and,
Right.
and just diversify.
Yes.
We
Yes.
still buy properties, we still list properties, we still.
And I think because we both have owned companies, with both have been CEOs and presidents of this and that. I think we do come from different points of views, but it's kind of cool to see the merge
Yes.
and the different personalities and the way things are, but also the resources that we bring together. I think it's pretty
Wow.
cool.
Yeah. I think
And
we relate.
it's fun. It's a blast.
Yeah, we could definitely relate.
I think it
'cause
is.
The mortgage, the real estate, it just is two different worlds. But when you combine them
Yeah.
together, again, it could be a really amazing thing.
Yeah.
Just like what you guys going on. But again, you guys are in development, so I guess our main question is one of the main questions. Since you guys are developing things, you're planning things. What does like 5 years look to you guys from this point on? In maybe 5 years, where do you believe your company will be at? Do you have to like add more, individuals? You guys already
Yeah.
have so much going on.
I'd like to see the company where I think Sergio and I are not so hands-on, where we're kind of
Okay.
more, stepping back and kind of seeing things from another level, and hiring the right people empowering them
Mhm.
to move on and carry on and teach them what we've known through all the years.
Yes.
So I kind of more like laid back, I don't say laid back,
Right.
but just kind of back off and
Mhm,
and
mhm.
hiring the right people, and it's a family-owned business and so forth. And
Yeah, we owe it to our kids, we owe it to our staff,
Yes.
to make their systems better, or
Mhm.
make them earn more money.
Yes.
And so, as to what he said, if we can lead the company in a better atmosphere,
Mhm, mhm.
to provide better product,
Yes.
always better.
Right. Right.
I think it's going to be an natural evolution on this.
Yes.
And it's kind of
powerful.
interesting. You mean, and like we're talking about, we were in a podcast on like last Sunday, but things that are going on again, like with building and so forth, and the fires now created like different codes and so forth. Like different ways to actual there's construction is going to completely change, like as far as like fire retardant materials and so forth. There was always, you never stop learning. So.
Right. And how do you guys think like the construction is going to change, like technology wise? Like,
absolutely,
we have like some friends from China that are coming in, and they're going to be able to like build a property. It's like printed or something in like less than 2 weeks or 2 months. I can't remember exactly.
There's all sorts of stuff coming out.
Yeah. And how do you guys like keep up with this type of stuff? Do you guys,
a lot of it you got to get approved through the city first. So it's easy for us. Give me a set of plans, and we'll create a system for it, right?
Yes.
So we're not creators. We're not creating new product. We're not creating new strategies. We're just
whatever the plans are, you follow that.
Right. So the only thing I can guide you is, if for me, when I get a piece of land and say this is 6, 7, 8, 10 units, we still follow the traditional what it's on the table. Now, if I go to the city and the city tells me, have you looked at this? This is approved and there's 13 jobs already done. We'll jump on board and we'll look at it. But meanwhile, if the city says no go,
right?
I mean, you can talk to your blue in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe you. I tell them, I believe on your system, but can you get it through? Bureaucracy of LA.
Yes.
So you got to give and take. LA can make you or break you.
Yes.
Building safety.
And I think that's probably one of your guys' struggles, and you correct me if I'm wrong, is that getting the approvals from the counties and the state. Because I heard that a lot on the news. They were trying to get the properties rebuilt from the fires also, and it's like they can't even get things approved. So I'm sure you guys go through a struggle with that.
It's one of the toughest things about development is definitely the expediting part of it. People just don't realize how difficult it is to navigate through the city of Los Angeles or Santa Monica or Pasadena. I mean, that to me is probably the hardest thing in development is going through the whole approval process. Yes. And if you don't know that, man, it's like
you can get buried. That's where we really sunk our teeth into and try to get the experience. But look, with all the respect, what they say on TV and what happens in at building a safety in front of that counter, it's two different things.
Yes.
I can be dealing with somebody with 10 years experience, 15 years experience, and he knows the process, in and out, and I can be dealing with somebody that just started 6 months ago.
Yes, wow.
That's what you get.
Right.
So we have to tell them we have to tell them our expectations.
Exactly.
So it's about us enforcing what we know. Not so much, because they can take you into different rabbit holes with all due respect to the city. It's just a fact. You need to come in with knowledge.
Right.
And then you guys have that. I mean, I feel more wiser already just sitting with you guys here.
Man, it's like a lot of it is just like the pain that we've been through as developers. It's like you learn a lot from like failure, or just like being stung. It's like, and you never know what's going to come around the corner. So we do know a lot about that, but also we surround ourselves with really good experts and know that that's all they do.
Right.
So
I mentioned earlier today, ex-fire chief, he's on our consulting board.
Wow.
Was he the recent one that just got released? Because I heard somebody got fired recently.
This is about 15, 20 years ago.
No, that's the fire. He was a fire chief for building and safety planning. This fire chief was putting out fires.
Oh,
yeah.
Totally
different. Not that our consultant can't put out fires, but
he
was more about safety, building, making sure, to make sure that, the fire, people can do their job if something were to happen. Building the safety. It's more through architecture stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, we have building and safety inspectors on our staff, that can guide us. There's a new problem every day.
Right.
A new adjustment every day, and we have to just deal with the punches. But it's not easier. Try to figure it out. Just call the bosses and just say, Mr. Senior Inspector, how do you want this figured out?
Right.
And we just reverse back there.
Yeah.
A lot of people come in and say, they have an attitude. Say like, I've done this for 100 years, and I don't care what that supervisor says. We try not to take that approach.
Got it.
We try to go with the path of least resistance.
Well, your business sounds amazing. If I was in your business, I would if I was actually a customer, I would be looking to hire you guys to put something together, because I understand what you guys are doing. You guys are also coming from service. You're coming with good attitudes.
Consulting.
You're consulting people about putting the project together.
We didn't talk about design either, but we do design as well.
Okay.
And design.
I know you guys are big into that too. So
Yes.
it's pretty
Okay.
cool.
And can we touch on that a little bit? What type of design do you guys like get into?
Eclecticness. I mean, I am really big. I think if I had to kind of come back and do it again, one of those, what I said, everybody thinks I'm like a aspiring architect, designer kind of thing. And I'm definitely love the more artistic part of the business. I really enjoy that. Like,
Wow.
like we just recently redid a 1972 townhouse in South Pass, and people thought it was crazy with my ideas going in there, but we went totally 1972 glam.
From the lights to the wallpaper.
The wallpaper, just groovy wallpaper, all sorts of stuff.
There you go. Yeah.
Would love
Yeah,
to
no,
see
but it
this.
came
Would
out
love
cool.
to see
So
this.
that to me is like fun. That's really fun, and it adds a lot of value. And
Yes.
Him
yes,
and my wife
definitely.
that's her hobby.
Yes.
Right? And
Ray's great at it.
Yeah.
me, blue and gray kind of looks the same.
There you
A
go.
little off, you know. I mean,
Right,
what's the
right.
difference? They both look good.
Yes, yes,
But they're
definitely.
amazing.
Mhm,
I love that.
mhm.
No,
Well,
that's a fun
you guys
part.
have been so amazing being on our podcast, and I did want to make sure that you guys share a moment with the followers that we all have to see if you guys can educate them on what you guys do. I'm not sure if you want to have your gentlemen sit up here, so all four of you can sit up here. You
Yeah.
guys are good. So maybe looking at that camera, give your followers and our followers a message about what they can do to grow their business and be inspired into hiring you guys as a
Yes,
next
if they were to contact you, what services can you provide, and how can you guys help?
Go ahead, Serge. You got it
So,
down.
from start to finish at development, any questions, we manage, we have the answers for everything from architecture to design to planning, what you should build, a 3,000 square foot home or 1,500 square foot home, 20 units or 100 units. We can guide you through that chaos to understand, even if it's just a simple question. We love referrals, and that's how we get referrals, by answering people's questions. And in any business, my advice would be planning, like we were talking about earlier. Really have the answers to to where you're going to be stepping into, especially development, but in life in general.
Yeah, and I think we kind of touched on it earlier at our junction in life right now. It's not so much, even we love consulting, and even if you don't hire us, we're here for you guys. Bounce stuff off of us. We welcome that at any time.
On
Absolutely.
support, regarding fire victims, one of the things I've been advising is join support groups. There's many out there, your neighbors, just join those groups, and all of a sudden you have to become an expert at this, and it's really, really hard. So you can call us for any questions. We're here to serve, without any commitments. But join support groups, inform yourself. There's a lot going on, and be quick about it, because these programs that are allowed out there right now, FEMA is insuring people that have no insurance. At the beginning of the fires, we were like, who's going to cover these people? Poor people. But FEMA's leaving at the end of the month, guys. And it's crucial that you guys inform yourself. There's plenty of grants out there, not only for fire victims that lost their homes, but for renters, employees in the community. There's a lot of resources for you out there, but you got to go into these places and inform yourselves.
That's
or,
powerful.
Please ask, or, whatever we can do.
I love that.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Amazing.
Anytime. So guys, follow them
Really
on.
honored.
Oh,
No,
we're
anytime.
honored. Thank you guys
Follow
so
them
much.
right here.
Amazing.
This is their Instagram page. Again, we're going to release about 2 reels, and then we'll give you guys also the full podcast, so you guys can also break it down with your own marketing team if you like. But we appreciate you guys being here.
Oh, thank
Gentlemen,
you.
thank you so
Again.
much. And guys, thank you for watching. We appreciate you guys being part of our journey on this podcast.
Yes, thank you
Thank
guys.
you.
Appreciate you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To the next one.